What's wrong? No, it's nice. You can move up here. Well, then this is the price you pay. Okay, it's refreshing, no? Yeah. See, your problem is you only have a t-shirt. And then you're wearing shorts as well. Oh, I see. You're dressing like you're back home. Okay. Tell me if you've done this word with Donal or Mark. Interest rate or interest.
Yeah.
Have you done it with Mark?
No.
With Donal? Have you done calculations? No. You just said interest rate and then that's enough, yeah?
Reduce it when we increase it.
That's it, is it? Okay. Alright, okay. Anyways, there's firstly two types of interest rate we're going to look at. The first one is called simple, which is not like real life. You only learn this one in elementary school, middle school, and then you never use it because it's stupid. It's not what really happens. And then compound, which is what really happens in real life. Compound. So these are the two types. Yeah? So first we have to do a little bit more vocabulary before we look at these two here. So I'll just go to the side for that. Okay. So we have something called AER, which is short for annual effective rate. So for example, if I said, I don't know, 10% AER interest, that means whatever money you had at the start of the year, so this is the start of the year, at the end of the year you would have 1.10 times this amount you had at the start of the year. So this is the end and this is a year. So this is what we kind of imagine interest rate to be anyway, that you have some money at the start of the year, there's a percentage, and you have that much extra at the end of the year. So this is like, if you want to put it in quotation marks, this is like the real rate. You know, this is the thing that you care about. When you invest, you want to know what the AER is. That's the one that matters. There is another percentage as well though, but we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. So let's look at the difference between simple and compound. And we'll go in years, okay? So we have, down the side here is years. 1, 2, 3. So in compound, what happens is, you have some, let's start with P at the start. After 1 year, you'll have P times 1 plus I%. And I is whatever the rate is. For example, what is I in the one here? 10%. So the I is 10, for example. And also in simple, after 1 year, it's the same, 1 plus I%. It's different after 2 years. So after 2 years of simple, it will be P, well, Let me just actually rewrite this. You can think of this as well as, well, I'll just write it again. P times 1 plus I percent, which is the same as P plus IP percent. And here in compound, it's P times 1 plus I percent. After 2 years, you'll have P plus IP percent plus IP percent again. Whereas with compound, after 2 years, you have P 1 plus I percent 1 plus I percent again. So if I put in some numbers to try and help make this a bit clearer, if we start off with €100 and at 10%, okay, so for simple, it goes like this. You start with 100, then after 1 year, what do you have? 110, and then after 2 years, 120, 130, etc. But with compound, we start off with 100, then it's 110, but then I have to multiply by 1.10. So what do I get there? 121? Now do you see there's a small difference? 121, is it? And what's the next one? 133.10. Where have we seen something like this in semester 1? Not quite that. Yeah, the main difference between simple and compound is this. Compound follows a GP pattern of increasing, whereas simple follows an AP pattern of increasing. Which would you prefer to have?
Second one.
Yeah, which is good because that's the one that it really is.
But if I have mortgage, I prefer the first one.
That's true, actually. Yeah. Yeah. GP is what it usually is. So, for example, you can kind of think of these as formulas as well if you want. So here, how much money you have, the amount you have after n years. This would be P 1 plus I percent power n. Because what's happening is each time I'm multiplying by 1.1.
Can you go up?
Yeah. To here? What would it be here? A equals P multiplied by 1 plus N times I percent. So the difference in the two situations is where the N is located in the formula. So let me give you a small question using these numbers here. I have €100 at 10%. I would like to know when will I have €200? 200. Using a simple interest rate and a compound interest rate. Now which answer will be smaller for n? The GP, because we'll get there sooner. Okay, so I want the n for both situations, please. Well, actually, you can almost see what the n is for the first one. What's the n for the first one? You can really do it in your head. It starts at 100. Is it 10% increase? When will it be 200? 10, yes. I know that the second answer must be less than 10. Okay, so calculate that, please.
We're going to use log.
Yes. the answer should be something like about 6.9, 7.2. That's close. Okay, will we have a look at it? Question? Yeah, you can ask. Yeah? No? You're stunned, is it? Stunned. Okay, can I do this one? Yeah? Yeah? Let's have a look at it. So in the first case, we want 200. We start with 100. And the I is 10. 10% is 0.10. So this would be 0.10 times n. So this is 200 equals 100 plus 10n, if you multiply that in. 100 equals 10n, so n is 10 years. In the second case, you have 200 equals 100, 1 plus 0.10n. 200 equals 100, 1.10n. Divide by 100, 2 equals 1.1n. Put log on both sides, log 2 equals log 1.1n, but you can bring the n down for logs. So that means n will equal log 2 divided by log 1.1, which is 7.27. So 7.25 years is how much. Is that okay? Yeah? Okay, can I scroll down? So just briefly to summarize this part, simple is like an AP and compound. You should think of it as a GP problem. So for example, if I asked you to do something like to add all of these together, what formula would you use? You would use SN. SN for AP or GP? GP. And likewise, if I asked you to add these together, again it's SN for AP. So what I'm trying to get you to see is that you should think of this as being continuing from your AP GP lesson in semester 1. Yeah.
Like interest rate is not fixed.
What's that?
It changed by like from year to year.
Ah, yeah, don't worry about that. That's something we won't do, but it is something that you might do next year. Okay, the next thing I want to do is, what's wrong, Albert? Albert? What's wrong? You think you're what? Okay. What? Continue?
Yes.
Thank you. Right, next. Have you ever heard of... Oh, sorry, you can't quite see when it's up there. APR. Have you ever heard of APR? Maybe some people have. In business, economics, or daily life, no? If you ever look at an ad in a newspaper for a loan, or on the TV for a loan, like a credit card, you know credit card, of course, the percentage they give you is always APR, not AER. So what's the difference? It's called annual percentage rate. And the first thing to note is APR is not the same thing as AER. So this is the one that we like because it's kind of the one we think of when we think of interest rate. It's the easier one. This one here is a bit of a pain. Yes, pain. Because it's not as easy to work with as AER. AER is more straightforward. It's just a percentage. There's no like newspaper lying around, is there? Or magazine or anything? No. Anyway, the next time you're looking through a newspaper or a magazine and you see an ad for a bank or a credit card, you'll notice beside their percentage it will say APR. In fact, in Ireland, it's the law that when you have a percentage, you have to give it as an APR. It's the law. So any ad will have APR in it. Okay, so the next time you see one, notice that it says APR. What's wrong, John Ray? What? What's the problem? Tell me. Do I need to move you? Are you sure? Yeah, but it's the way you look while you're doing nothing. It's like you're not listening or you're having too much fun. It's really quite boring. It's not that entertaining, really. Thank you for that information, Albert. I'll remember that. Right. So APR. First thing you need to know about APR is how often it is compounded, or another word for it is converted. So for example, if I said APR 12% converted weekly, or if I said APR 12% converted monthly, those are two different percentages. Write these two down as examples. So what do you think the difference might be between the two? One bank that says its interest on its loan or its savings or whatever is converted weekly, and the second bank says its 12% is converted monthly. What do you think what could they mean when they give the time? Converted weekly, converted monthly. 12%
weekly.
Oh, that would be nice. 12% a week would be great. I'd put all my money into that bank. Yeah. Not quite, now you're not too far away, but it's not as nice as that. No, not quite that. For that, by the way, Victor, it would just simply be 12% per week and 12% per month. Yeah. Anyone else? Any ideas? So in the first case, it means that the interest is paid weekly, and in the second case, the interest is paid monthly. But it's paid a very special way. So for example, in I'll call this Bank 1 and Bank 2. Bank 1, what they're saying is they pay 12% divided by 52 each week. And then Bank B, they say they pay 12% divided by 12 each month. So the first bank says, we will pay you this every month. But of course they don't pay you the full 12% every week, because if they pay 12% every week, how many weeks in a year? Yeah, 52. The first bank, they say they pay 12% every week, but they don't pay the full 12% because that'd be too much money. So they pay 12 divided by 52 because there's 52 weeks in a year. The second bank also pays 12%, but they pay it every month. Likewise, they pay 1/12% every month. So for you, if this was a savings account, which is better for you? Which one? Well, let's calculate it, okay? So let's imagine we have 100 euros and we put it into each bank. Question? Sorry, was there a question, Victor? No? So let's have a look at the numbers here. The first bank, Bank 1. Can you take out the calculator? What's 12 divided by 52? 0.2. 0.23. So 12 over 52% is 0.0023. It's quite small, of course. Yeah. So let's say I have 100 euros. €100. If I leave it in the bank for 1 year, how many times will the bank pay me? 52 times. Each time they pay me, my balance increases. How much does it increase by? 1.0023. How many times does this happen? 52 times. So tell me what this is. 112.60. Sorry, 12.606. 689. 69 then, yeah? Okay, the second bank, they pay 12%, but they pay monthly. So how much do they pay each month? 1%. 0.01% is what they pay each month. If I put 100 euros in the bank, each time they pay me, my balance increases by 1.01. How many times does this happen over 1 year? 12 times. How much is that? How much? 112. 682. So it's nearly the same. This was 68. This was 689, was it? 682. 52 weeks in 1 year. Yep. So you can see there's not too. Yeah. Oh my goodness! You just asked me that.
No, yeah, we have four weeks per month.
No, you have 4.5 weeks per month. Yeah. Don't worry. Don't worry. Yeah. In Ireland it's 52 weeks. Maybe other places it's different. I don't know. Okay. Now you can see that in fact there wasn't that much of a difference. I'll give you one to try. Can I scroll down? Yeah. So we'll have two banks again. We'll say Bank A will give you 5% APR compounded twice a year. So that means they pay you twice a year. And let's say Bank B, they're a little bit better. They'll give you 6% APR, but they'll only do that once a year. And it does. Let's just keep it general. Let's say you have X euros to invest. So I want you to tell me how much you would have in Bank A and Bank B, and therefore which is better. I think it might be, but I would like you to calculate.
How much money you have? X
euros. Correct. Once a year, twice a year. Okay, let's have a look here. So in Bank A, they pay you 5% twice a year. So that means they pay you 2.5% twice a year, which means they'll pay you 0.025 twice a year. So that means they'll increase your balance by 1.025 twice a year. So this happens twice. The power squared, and you multiply this by x. Yeah, what is this? 1.0506x. That's enough, yeah. Bank B is much simpler. They pay you 6% once a year. So how much will you have? Yeah, in total it'll be 1.06x. So you can see that you're much better going with B. Yeah? Can I scroll down a little bit? You okay, Albert? You getting tired? Sleepy? It's okay, good, good. Be strong, okay? I know it's difficult. You must have been only awake for 1 or 2 hours, is it? What time did you wake up at? 1 o'clock? Yeah, okay, yeah. So still sleepy, I understand. Right, Bank A, after 1 year, they have given you 1.0506. So you have an extra about 5%. In fact, how much extra do you have? You have 5.06% interest. And in Bank B, it's 6%. Is this APR or AER? No, this one is AER because this is how much you have after 1 year. It's like the real rate. Can you see how this is different to their 5% APR? Weren't they 5% the first bank? Yeah, they were 5%. 5.06? There. Yeah. Can you see what I'm saying? I'm saying that 5% APR twice a year, that's the same as getting 5.06% once a year. Yeah? 5% by 2 here? Yeah, because it says it's twice a year. And that's the meaning of APR. That's what it means. When you say APR twice a year, it means you are saying 5% divided by 2 twice a year. That's what it means. That's the meaning of it. Yes? How far here? So I'm saying that 5% APR twice a year is the same as 5.06% once a year. It's the same thing. I know this is difficult because I think it's new for everybody. APR, AER. It's new. So we'll do another example, okay? Yeah? Oh yeah, what about B? So B is 6% interest APR and it's also 6% APR. So in other words, the only time APR and AER are the same is when it's paid once a year. That's the only time they're the same. Yeah. Can I scroll down now? Yeah. Right, so here I'll have APR 12%. And if we'll do it compounded. Okay, so if I do it compounded monthly, what does that mean? That means the bank will 12% divided by 12 per month. If I said compounded weekly, what would that be? 12% divided by 52 per week. They do that every week. If I said daily, 12% divided by 365 per day. If I said hourly, do you get the idea that the only thing that's changed here is the time? So what I would like you to try and do for me is to change these into AER. Yeah. Now I'll just put the first one in. It's 12% per month, so that's 1.01 power 12. What's that? 1.1 what is it, please? 1.1268. So what would that be as an AER? That would be 12.68% AER. That at the end of the year, that's how much extra you have. That's what AER means. So this is the extra, the interest. Okay, I want you to try your best. Try and give me the other two, please. You told me that.
It's 12%, yeah, 10%.
Oh.
0.01. It's not the 1.01.
Can I see? What's the difference?
Not 1.01.
Yeah, because you're using 12%, not 10%.
Yeah, it's
12?
1.01.
Divided by 12. What?
Oh. Yeah.
I sit back down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you forget how many months there were in the year, wasn't there? Alright. Try to finish that. Okay, did you get the next one? Well, should the next one be more or less than 12.68? Should be more, yeah. What did you get? 12 point... Oh no, it should be bigger than 68. 12.69, so a little bit bigger. And what's the next one, like 12.699 or something like this? 73? Okay, wait for this one. Alright. Did anyone else get it? Victor, did you get it?
No, why? I didn't understand why it's 1.01.
Oh my goodness. What's the percentage? How many months in the year? 12 divided by 12. Yeah? What is the second one? Did you get it? 12.69, yeah. For the next one, yeah? And the last one? 12.76, yeah? Wait, are you sure? It seems an awfully big jump for the last one. 12.76? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Is it 12.76? Let me get out my calculator. 12 divided by 3, 6,
11 for it's 12.74.
hang on, let me do it now. 12 divided by the power 12.75. Close enough. Right. One more like this, but an interesting one. 100% APR compounded yearly, monthly, weekly, daily, hourly, per minute, minutely, minutely and secondly. Right, I want you to change these into AERs. So the first one is easy. 100% APR compounded once a year. What's that AER? 100, yeah. Yeah, 100% AER. Yeah. Next one. What's the next one? So, monthly, isn't it? What did you get?
6.13.
Yes. No, 161% AER. Yes. Don't forget, don't forget. For example, will I do the second one? Look. You have 100% divided by 2. That's 50%. No, sorry, not divided by 2. Divided by 12. What's that? 8.3%, which is 1.083. Yes? Okay, what's 1.083 power 12? I think that's 2.613. And remember, you're comparing it to 1 plus I. So it's like 1 plus 1.613. So this is the interest part. Yeah, this is how I got the 161.
What is the I?
Interest rate. What I'm looking for. No? Yeah. It's a lot simpler when it's a smaller percentage. Like, for example, when we had, 1.01 power 12, what did we get? It was 1.12, whatever, 6. Hey, look. When I did 1% 12 times, we got 1.126. So what's the percentage, the annual effective rate, in the top? Oh, it's 12.6%. Now, how did you get that in your head? All you did, minus 1, and then multiply by 100. So do the same thing. Minus 1, and multiply by 100. You get 161%. Yeah? So, you get 161 here. Next one, weekly. 169%? Yes. And then daily, yeah, I'm going to skip to the end because that's all I care about. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know, you have to multiply it out. Let me jump down to hourly. What do we get for hourly actually? 172%. Yeah. Okay, and then minutely, 60 minutes in an hour. 172%, and so on. What's wrong?
I'm talking about the ability to tell exactly how the AER
And lastly, secondly, we have again 172% about. Now the reason I did this silly, look, Leon. The reason I did this example was to make an important point with how these compounding problems work. Notice how, as you increase the time, how often you pay. Can you see there's a big difference between yearly and monthly? You get a lot more percent AER. The difference between monthly and weekly is a little more. But as you move further down, you'd think the difference continues to increase, but in fact it doesn't. The difference between hourly and secondly, or minutely, or even daily, it's not changing much. So my point is, even though you can keep increasing the time, there's actually a limit here. So let's imagine we could keep increasing the time. Instead of secondly, we had every tiny amount of a second. What's the word? Every single moment. Momently. Yeah, okay. Momently. So this is like infinitely small. The percentage you would get is hang on, let me think. Oh, I can't remember exactly. Okay, can you look up? You're looking for trouble? So if you could do this every single moment that passes, instantly, that was the word I was looking for, not momently, instantly. If you could do this instantly, there's actually a limit to how much you can get. That's it actually there, that's the limit. Do you need to know this limit? Have you seen this number before? In fact you have. Can you type into your calculator this? E minus 1. Oh, excuse me, I was doing this in my head. Does the number look familiar? I was off a little bit, was I? Oh, man. I forgot a bit. Doesn't matter.
172.8.
It should be the same as what's on your calculator.
1.718.
Then what's that line?
What's the digit? 1718. 1718. 18. What's next? 2. Ah. Yeah. It's mostly wrong. Anyway, the reason I wanted to show you this one is because when you study financial... Oh my goodness, Albert, will you sit down? Don't do that when I'm talking, please. In trouble next time. And the reason I wanted to show you this is because this number here, E, in fact, you'll see it when you study financial maths. And the reason it comes up is because it's an important part of interest calculations. Okay? You can use E for calculations. Anyways, that's not too important. I just wanted you to see that. Who's doing business next year? Accounting or business? The person who wasn't listening to me. Nice, nice. You will see this again next year. Yeah. Now I know this is difficult, and part of the difficulty is the language. There's lots of new ideas, but there's 4 key ideas. Firstly, simple interest. That's like AP. You add the same amount. Compound interest. That's like GP. You multiply. Okay. And there's 2 types of interest. AER, which is the good, easy kind. That's just how much you have after 1 year. And then the more difficult one is the APR. No, don't back up because I want you doing these because there's still time. And the more difficult one is APR because it's not every year, it's per unit of time, and they need to tell you the time. So it's more difficult. Okay? But it's very important that you try all of these because I don't think anyone has done this before. No, you see, so this is completely new for everyone. So I want you to start working on them now and try to do all of them. I think question 1 is my only question about simple interest, and all the rest are compound. Let me see. In the exam, they could ask you a simple interest question because, in fact, in the practice exam they gave me, one of the questions was about simple interest. Okay. Yeah.
How was the September exam? Or they didn't have it yet?
They haven't done the maths one yet. You can know this because they still look happy. So I think the maths one's on Friday. So ask me then. Can I close this? Yes, okay. I want you working on these for a few minutes, please.